Buckleback, and I have the pleasure today to be with Mr. Russell Ford, and he is our Ag Extension Agent over
4-H and Youth Development.
4-H and Youth Development, kind of a lot of things.
Yes, absolutely. So again, as Shannon said, I'm Russell Ford. I work at the Extension office here in Hempstead. Our office consists of 7 different agents, both comprised of agents from Texas A&M AgriLife Extension and agents through the Prairie View A&M Cooperative Extension Program. We have agents ranging from Ag and Natural Resources that will help with problems with your grasses, your hayfields, trees, ponds, to myself, and there's another agent that we deal with 4-H and Youth Development. We do family and community health, as well as a community economic development agent. So we have lots of different agents in the office that can handle lots of different things.
Yeah, and that's totally why I wanted to interview you, because there's so many ways you connect with so many people and so much you offer.
Absolutely, and most of our resources are for free. We may do some classes here and there that may offer, for example, our ag agent may host a private applicators class to where you achieve a certification to spray herbicides privately. And there's continuing education hours that usually come along with that. So, he'll charge for those because there's typically a fee on our end of the deal. But for the most part, we have lots of resources for the community that we can let everybody know about and be a part of and utilize those resources.
I know there's just so many, and I guess they can go to their webpage, and I will probably put the webpage on the
Absolutely.
on the link.
Right now, A&M is in the process of migrating from an old website to a new website, or excuse me, the web page itself. So I would say the best thing you could do is for anybody who's on social media to just follow us on Facebook. We market and advertise everything from the different disciplines across our Facebook page.
I think I was sharing a little bit about the Master Gardener program that's part of the county.
Absolutely. Our Ag and Natural Resource agent oversee that. They do a lot of volunteer hours. They put on a Junior Master Gardener program every summer at our office, opening it up to kids in the community. Those are something that they can come, and it's a 2-week session where they come in and spend time at our office and learn and come out of there with a certification being considered a Junior Master Gardener. They do a really good job of keeping our flower beds and stuff nice, and they again work with our ag agent there in front of the office where they have different test plots of how different fertilizers may work. And we have a pollinator garden at our office that encourages butterflies and whatnot to come in. So they do a really good job of keeping our facility outside looking very nice.
That's nice to get to some free labor.
Yes, absolutely.
I did the Master Gardener program actually in Harris County a long time ago. And so I know we did a lot of pulling weeds in those gardens too.
Absolutely.
But then we traded plants often. We'd all bring our daylilies and trade. And so I felt like it kind of evened out, that it was fun doing it together. And so I love that we have that out here, because I'm trying to do more regenerative farming and organic on my hay and things like that. So it's nice to be able to just kind of come in and learn from each other and see what's working out here. So learn who the different applicators are to do more of the organic.
Absolutely. In the Master Gardener program, they have lots of different people from all walks of earth that come together and have different specialties, and it's great to see them all come together and the activities that they do for our community.
It's fun. So super cool.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, we want to learn a little bit more about your history, though, because most people kind of know what you do that interact with you, but maybe we want to know a little bit how you got to Waller to start with.
Yeah, so we grew up, we lived in Cypress, so I met my wife as a freshman in high school. We started dating as a sophomore in high school, and we've been together ever since.
That's nice.
Shortly after college, we got married, and we bought a home and started a family. And we used to live in Cypress, around the Spring Cypress and Grant area, and we had all 3 of our boys. So we're parents of 3 boys. As we were there, we became the house was full, and the boys were getting older and wanted to do things, and we were in one of those neighborhoods where the backyard was 20 feet off your back patio. They didn't have anything.
Those.
Yep, just like what's fixing to come in across over there. And at time to time from work, I guess you maybe catch me at on horror, daydreaming, and about what the perfect place would be and whatnot. And we ended up having to come to the fairgrounds and to go to a celebration of life for a family friend of ours. Her daughter had died from cancer, and we came out here. And on the way home, I said, "Hey, let's just go somewhere." My wife really likes. She's very good at walking into a building, a room, and just imagining the things. She could walk into a bare bones house and she can imagine what the house looks like. And she's good at imagining colors and how you could put a couch here and whatnot. And it all comes together phenomenally. And so I said, well, let's go look at this house and just see what we think about it. Well, the realtor wasn't able to meet us at that time, but we had gotten almost back to the house, and they gave us a call. We turned around and came back out there, and he opened the house, and we walked through it and looked, and we both were just like, wow, this is home. So at that time, again, it was just, we were just daydreaming, I guess, But we got back to the house and we started purging just like anybody else does who wants to move, and got our house ready to put on the market and moved here in 2017.
Yeah, and I've got to see where you are. It's a really cute little place. It's not very far from here.
No, not very far at all.
Backs up to me, kind of.
Yes, and it was great. It was perfect. It was great for our boys to be able to get out. We have phenomenal neighbors. My kids get to go hunting and fishing, and they're always at the neighbors going fishing in their pond, and so my kids we're never inside. We don't play video games. We don't do all that. We're outside, and my kids are very active in the 4-H program as well.
That's what we love about the country is they have all that chances to raise all different kinds of animals. Have they raised everything?
Absolutely. They haven't raised everything. The two older boys, we have dabbled in hogs, we've raised goats, and we've done steers and heifers, but we've really kind of stuck with the heifers here lately. So my youngest son, he is just old enough to be a full-fledged 4-H member this year, which was 9 or in 3rd grade. So Cody will be a full 4-H member this year, and we're not real sure what he wants to do. So he's
I'm thinking maybe a pig.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, absolutely.
If anybody's seen that.
Yeah, it's funny.
Well, tell me a little bit more about his story, because I know y'all had a struggle starting with him.
Yeah, so Cody's our little miracle baby. We had Cody in November of 2016. My wife had noticed that, hey, things had kind of really started slowing down on his movement inside. Went to the OB doctor, and they came in, and they have a certain scale of if he moves or kicks in this much, and they make you drink the apple juice or a popsicle or whatever it may be to make sure you have enough sugar in there. And he met that threshold, whatever it may be. Well, they sent her home, and we came back a week later for her normal appointment, and Sarah expressed her concerns with her normal doctor, and he sent her to labor and delivery again. Well, at that time, they did another test, and they're like, look, they came in and said, hey, look, we're doing a C-section. You got 20 minutes. We're taking him out. And something had dipped, and my wife may get on to me for not knowing exactly, but I don't remember the exact, but something wasn't safe for Cody on the inside, and they said, look, we're 20 minutes, we're doing this. So they ended up pulling him out. They had to work on Cody a little bit. He wasn't crying like a normal baby would. They had to do some certain procedures to, I guess, essentially resuscitate him. He wasn't moving and didn't cry, and he wasn't breathing on his own. Once they got that, they rushed him away. So we were there less than 18 hours, and we had him at St. Luke's in the Woodlands. And they said, look, we can't take care of y'all here. He said he's just got way too much. He wasn't maintaining his blood sugar. His blood sugar kept diving down, which in turn would not allow him to regulate his own body temperature. So they called the Kangaroo crew from Texas Children's Hospital down in the Med Center, and away Cody and I went to the Med Center. Sarah jumped through hoops and said, I'm going to be with my baby. And needless to say, she was there within about 5 hours of me and Cody getting there.
Wow.
Being discharged and meeting the milestones for a mom who just had a C-section to get out of the hospital. Cody was... the biggest thing was he suffered from something called congenital hyperinsulinism, which was his body just made too much insulin. So he had to end up wearing something called a continuous glucometer. You see it on TV a lot now. And we had him on a strict diet because he ended up being allergic to Sarah's breast milk. So
Darn it.
he was on a special formula that was the protein in it was already pre-digested. So it was super expensive. He spent 7 weeks in the NICU down in the med center. And kind of from there on, we were in and out. We were frequent flyers of Texas Children's. We would be home for about 3 weeks, and then he would get admitted for about another week. We had issues with our heart. We had issues with our kidneys had calcium deposits in it. There were so many. We saw 15 specialists about his first 2.5 years of life.
And you said he couldn't hear?
He couldn't hear. So we were at home one day, and I had this feeling, and I told my wife, I said, hey, look, I don't think he can hear the way he should. And we knew at the hospital he failed his hearing test there. But at the time, I grabbed 2 pots out of the cabinets, and I banged them together. My wife thought I was crazy for doing that, but Cody didn't move. It didn't flinch. He didn't
Not at all.
faze him at all. So we ended up making appointments and getting him tested, and sure enough, Cody was deaf. He could not hear. We ended up being one of those families that the radio station in Houston, and we were on a couple news channels, that we were that family that got to put hearing aids in the baby for the first time, and you got to see the video and his reaction. And it was priceless. I mean, it was great. Fast forward, we really didn't have an idea of why Cody had all of this. Sarah and I both went under genetic testing to see why he had all of these things. And I know I'm going to say this wrong. He also had, we hear a lot about it a lot of times on the news, about the high school athletes that are out there playing basketball or football that collapse and have a heart attack on the field. Essentially, that's what Cody had as a baby as well, but we found it so much earlier because of all the other medical conditions he had. The best way to explain that from what they told me was, it's like blowing up a balloon to the point to where it's fixing to pop. And that the lining on the wall becomes so thin that it could burst, it could rupture. That's the best way I can describe what he had. But here we are, fast forward 9 years later. Cody just celebrated his 9th birthday, and he has a clean bill of health. And he is a awesome, crazy little kid. He is into everything, and he has the work ethic of like nothing I've ever seen before. So if I can hope he keeps that to be an adult, he's gonna do something great.
So he's a little miracle. So when do you feel like the hearing, was there a certain age when did that change?
I would say close to probably, I don't know. He wore hearing aids for many, many years, and one of the things that we played a role in, and I'd like to give credit to my dad and my mom and other parents that my wife's friends with, and at the time they were students at my wife's school, but at the time, health insurance was not required to assist with kids who had hearing impairment. Which we thought was crazy. Like, this is our future. This is the kids that it's important that they hear, they learn these things. But we would pay for it for adults, elderly adults who, may be in the final years of their life. And not to discount that at all. We want everybody to hear everything. But we just thought it was crazy that insurance would pay for adults to have hearing aids, but not our youth.
No, that's crazy.
So my dad, amongst a lot of other people, they worked on creating a bill and took it to the Capitol several times, and sure enough, it ended up being a requirement, and
nice.
So it was great. So during this time, Cody attended a school called the Center for Hearing and Speech down in Houston. We would take him down there twice a week, and he would go through speech therapy, and they'd do frequent hearing tests, putting him in the box and doing, and it was a trooper with all that. He's had more EKGs than most adults will ever have in their life, but and they were happy for us as well, because they got to tell us that hey, we very rarely get to tell people the good news. We always have to tell them that, hey, this is what we're having to do. We're having to do hearing aids or cochlear implants or whatever. Nobody ever wants to hear the news that their child can't hear or their child's deaf. But I guess we were a sense of joy for them being able to tell us that, hey, he's improved so much to where you don't need to wear hearing aids anymore.
It's healing.
Yes.
I mean, they are resilient, just,
Yeah,
the way our bodies
and we
are made.
give credit to God on that. It was the power of prayer. I mean, Cody was loved and prayed upon by many, many people, and he's a very well-loved young man, and he's touched a lot of people's hearts. So.
And that's what we love about our community, is we do have people that will pray for us and surround you. And
Absolutely.
I know your wife had to miss so much work that she couldn't work,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
So,
at that time, my wife was almost unemployable. So it because at the time it was hard for me to get off and make all those doctor's appointments, and and trying to keep some sort of a normal life for our two older boys during this. So it took a village to do it, and we're super thankful for lots of things. For one, our families that were here. We couldn't have done it without our families, but it was also something that we probably take a little for granted, is that we're lucky to have Texas Children's just down the road. Especially having Cody. We would often venture to the one in the Woodlands. We'd go to West Campus here in Katy. We'd go to the Med Center. I mean, there was 3 top-notch children's hospitals within 45 minutes for us.
so many specialists of every sort.
Yeah. I mean, you live in the best medical center in the world, in my opinion, and it's just
People come from other countries.
Yeah. So it was great to have that there. And like I said, my wife pretty much lived down there for 7 weeks. It's little things like that. You go to McDonald's or you go somewhere and they want to know, do you want to make a donation to the Ronald McDonald House? And that may have been something that people have taken for granted, but I will tell you what, if it wasn't for the Ronald McDonald House, I'm not real sure how we would have gotten through it. That's a phenomenal organization, and the things they do for families is it's a blessing. It's a true blessing.
Yeah, cool. We'll talk a little bit too, because your wife, talk about where she works and what she does right now.
Yeah, so my wife is head of schools at a private Christian school in Tomball called Step by Step Christian School. My wife's grandparents founded that school and built it from the ground up. Both of her grandparents have since passed on, and my mother-in-law now owns it. So my mother-in-law owns it, but Sarah she's the face of it. She runs it, and of course she works side by side with her mom, but Sarah is head of schools. That school ranges from birth all the way through 8th grade. So you could take an infant in at 6 weeks old all the way up to 8th grade.
It's nice.
Yes, it's very nice. And all 3 of my kids have gone through the school. 2 of them have aged out to where they're attending school here in Waller now. But my youngest son, Cody, he is still at that school in Tomball.
Nice.
So
cool.
It's a great thing. They do phenomenal things for the kids, and just seeing the kids grow, and both spiritually and academically, is phenomenal coming from there. And I'm not saying that just because of the ties to it. It's truly remarkable to see how smart and in tune with God my kids are.
Yeah.
Because of that school.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, we're always curious too. I mean, you're a busy guy. You do a lot of things.
Yes,
I don't know,
ma'am.
do you have any spare time to do anything, but anything else you do in the community that you'd want to share, like to tell people how to stay connected?
Well, in the community, 4-H consumes a lot of my time.
So I figured.
4-H, we're running and gunning. I'm very much a family person, and I'm very thankful for my job because they do have a high value and respect for work-life balance. My kids, my wife, we love camping. We love the outdoors, hunting, fishing. But 4-H does keep us busy. 4-H has so much to offer for kids. It's a full-time job. So we're fixing to be coming into the major stock show season. where I'll be traveling to the various stock shows to help and support our families that are traveling there to exhibit their livestock projects. And also they compete in public speaking and livestock judging and all kinds of different competitions that they can compete in at these shows. So
It's like more than a full-time job because you're going to be gone at night and
at some point
overnight.
in time, it's very telling. It pulls on me all different directions. So
I
we
think
live
you
out
should
of a
have
suitcase.
you should have a few more days off because of those spending nights elsewhere.
We'll definitely have to ask the boss about those.
Yeah, I vote yes on that.
Yes,
just knowing
absolutely.
that I've seen how hard you work, like during the fair, during the shows.
Yep.
It's a lot.
And it's good, but it's a very rewarding job. It's I genuinely love what I do. I've never had a job like this in my life, and I can walk through the barn. I'll give you an example. This last Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, we hosted what we call Ag Day. Ag Day is a agricultural educational event to where we expose kids to different agricultural commodities. We'll bring horses out there. We'll show them what horses can do, how we use horses in the livestock industry, cattle, byproducts of cattle. We teach them about water and water education. So we have a series of 10 stations that we ran them through. And in the 2-day event, we saw almost 800 fourth graders from the Waller ISD elementary schools.
Wow.
But in the barn, there's kids that recognize me and see me from the fair or different programs that we do. And hey, Mr. Russell, hey, and it's very heartwarming to see these kids. And at the end of the day, I hope I'm making an impact in their life.
I definitely think you are. I mean, I feel like the animals and just that connection to the community, seeing you, and it just builds that community when they see you in different places too.
Yeah. That's my goal. We don't do it for the money. We don't do it for the glory. I want to leave an impact on the community. We haven't always been here. Yeah, we're a transplant, but this is my home, and it's the home of my kids. It's the home of my family. I want to leave an impact in this community.
I definitely think you have.
Well, it means a lot to me.
Well, and I've just recently gotten to know you, haven't known you as long and been as involved in 4-H, but I hope to be more connected in the future.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anything else we should say to the community to encourage?
I would love to have, for those of you that are watching and listening, I would love to have kiddos join 4-H. 4-H is one of the largest youth development programs, if not the largest youth development program in Texas. Waller County's program is, I checked today, it's just under 430 kids. So we have 430 kids that are active in our program. And we range from anything from STEM technology, dealing with robotics and photography, to how to cook and food safety, to animal and livestock projects, to agricultural and natural resource. There's literally something for everyone in 4-H. And we would love to have everyone there. I think it's truly a great program, and parents, we offer a lot of scholarships. So it's a great youth development organization. We learn by doing. We're very hands-on activity. So I encourage everyone to entertain 4-H and come find out some more about us.
And I definitely think you're saying 430. That is not very much considering the size of our county. And
it's not. It's not. We did have. We're just now reaching back to the numbers that we had pre-COVID.
Okay.
COVID. I know people hate to hear the excuse, but I mean we have the numbers. We've slowly, gradually started growing our numbers back, but COVID really did knock us down a lot. But my goal is to get a lot of kids involved, especially with all the rooftops coming in this county.
There's so many that maybe they don't know because they have come from the city to know the diversity of all the things you can do.
Yeah.
So maybe, if you're already involved a little bit, invite your neighbors.
Absolutely. I mean, and we do. We have professional development. We can teach your kids how to do public speaking, consumer decision making. That's where if we're going to buy a tablet or a Bluetooth speaker, they have to shop and look at the pros and cons between the different Bluetooth speakers and determine which one is best and place those 4 speakers from first through fourth place. And so, I mean, there's different things that we teach them that are truly life lessons that they will be able to utilize for the rest of their life.
Nice.
Because Lord knows we could figure out ways to save some money these days.
And I just think if you go into the 4-H meetings, the parents get to meet the other parents, and
Absolutely.
It builds that community in like a different level too.
Absolutely, and we have right at 13 clubs in the county right now, and for kids and parents that are possibly wanting to think about joining a 4-H club, you feel free to reach out to our office, and we can provide you that list and see what part of the community you live in. Just because you live in that part of the community doesn't mean you're restricted to that part of the community. I like to tell people, go wherever you see fit, wherever you fit in. If you go to one and it's not your flavor, hey, go try another one. There's going to be one that you fit in. We've got some that specialize in hunting and fishing, some that specialize in horses, some that specialize in shooting sports. We have a shotgun team, an air rifle, archery. There's truly something for everyone in our county.
So they can probably go to you to kind of figure out, if they want to do the robotics, they might see that there's like 5 people that do robotics in this club.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
And sometimes we may not do those as a club. We may not have a specific
Right.
robotics club, but we may have a robotic activity or robotic meeting where the kids across the county are going to come and work on it collectively in our office.
Right. Nice. So many ways to get connected, so you shouldn't miss out on it.
Yes.
So subscribe and share with your friends, especially those that need to get involved with 4-H. This is definitely a good one to be sharing. If you want to help this community feel more connected, if people are coming in here and are new and are disconnected, this is a great way to get involved. So thank you for coming to my porch.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.